As you saw in that video, we sent our team down to investigate the sea urchin problem in Sydney Harbour, which we will be talking about later on. But firstly, to give you an idea of what the problem actually is. Around the world, ecosystems within the ocean have been hit with a large explosion of sea urchins. A large number of these species have been able to destroy ecosystems by eating away the base of the food chain, being the producer. It has been said the equivalent is that you take a bulldozer into the rainforest and raise it back to bare earth, says Professor Craig Johnson, marine scientist. With these numbers, sea urchins have been able to keep multiplying. And now we're on to our interview with marine biologist Professor Rozenauers.
So why is change needed in Sydney Harbour?
The reason that change in this area is needed so badly is because of the short and long-term effects that the sea urchins have on the ecosystem. They essentially unbalance and destroy the whole structure when in abundance, while also continuing to grow. We've seen that urchins mainly feed on kelp, and when sea urchins are in such high numbers, like they are, the amount of kelp dramatically decreases.
What role does kelp play in the ecosystem?
It's quite overlooked. Not only is it the main producer of the system, but kelp also acts as a habitat for small fish and other sea creatures. Kelp is both food and a home for creatures within the ecosystem at Chowder Bay and Balmoral.
And when there's no kelp?
Self-explanatory. No kelp from the massive quantity of urchins means no food or no home for first-order consumers, resulting in a dip in the quantity of these animals. It acts as a chain reaction as the second-order and third-order consumers follow, disappearing with a lack of food to eat and no source of energy. There is then the obvious short-term effect. Unattractive, barren moonscape appears in the place of what was once kelp forests, which were rich of fauna of all levels on the food chain.
Are there any questions after seeing that? Yes, you.
How is it us humans that are causing the problem?
That's a great question. There are many reasons for how us humans have accounted for the sea urchin population explosion in Sydney Harbour. The main reason being the introduction of man-made buildings or structures that provide shade over certain areas of the water, where sea urchins thrive and kelp populations do not. The sea urchin population grows rapidly in the shady areas, and they gradually move out into kelp forests and devour the kelp with ease, almost eliminating kelp in some regions of the harbour. Because of the number of the man-made structures around Sydney Harbour, this population explosion is on a very large scale and affects more species of marine life. The reason for the sea urchin population explosion is recreational fishing. Recreational fishing has eliminated the main predator of sea urchins, being crustaceans. Crustaceans such as crabs are being wiped out due to recreational fishermen not respecting the delicate balance of the ecosystem in Sydney Harbour. And due to this, the sea urchin numbers are at a record high, as there is no way of them being killed. Now on the phone we have a professional in this area, Professor Ian Southers. Hello, Professor. Now, could you tell the audience what will happen if we don't treat the problems to do with sea urchins?
In simple terms, sea urchin population will keep climbing, resulting in the destruction of the Sydney Harbour's ecosystem. In addition to this, food webs will eventually start to collapse as species will die of starvation, all because of sea urchins destroying the main producer, kelp, in Sydney Harbour.
But there's a way we can fix this, isn't there?
The solutions to the problem of overgrazing urchins in Sydney Harbour are difficult, because in all urbanised marine environments there are so many other confounding effects. High nutrient flows, stormwater, sedimentation, oil/grease runoff from streets. One solution is simply education, to make the urban public and our politicians more aware of the problem in the harbour, but also elsewhere.
And on that note, it's time to conclude tonight. I hope you have seen that this issue is real and it is happening. Sea urchins are destroying our harbour. There's just one simple solution to fixing this, and that's to let everyone know what is happening. We need to educate fishers, people, governments. They need to be aware of what is happening, because we need to treat this issue now and quick before it gets out of hand. Because if we don't, we'll be in for it. Thank you and good night.